Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso@the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability details. Today, we're discussing a lovely and rare watch that was launched as part of the Geophysic collection back in 2015. You're looking at the Jaeger-LeCoultre Geophysic True Second, a lovely update of the 1950s classic. This watch is full of tricks in its own right. In stainless steel, 39.6 millimeters in diameter, 12 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 46.7 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw this watch on the wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it's a perfect match. Now, I am pulling the strap fairly tight here, but I can assure you that this watch will wear well on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. There's your over-the-top shot, which always exaggerates the width of the watch. There's your cuff shot, which proves it'll slide easily under a dress cuff. And then here's your down the barrel, which gives you a good sense of how far inboard of the edge of my wrist those lugs really are. The strap is high grade, and it's one of JLC's best. JLC straps can be hit and miss. This one was a direct impact. You could see we have large rectangular scale alligator leather in black with a monotone stitch. There is quite a bit of bolstering to give it volume, and we have a folded edge. It's sheer, but it's not a cut edge. It is a folded edge. We have calfskin on the bottom that is buttery soft, and that you can see no crimping, no gouging. This is a JLC factory strap. We have pull-tab spring bars, so you can quickly and easily remove the strap from the case without a tool. And then we also have a quick release on JLC's deployant clasp, so you can pop it off the strap and swap it over to a new one. So all of the strap swapping can be done without tools. We have here a steel folding clasp, which is a nice feature to have, as today even many JLC complications and precious metal models do not feature a full clasp. So this is a nice accessory to get. And we have a case that's designed to evoke the 1958 Geophysic. It does that well. We have angular lugs that are all of high polish, and then they're stepped out from a mid case that is satin finished. We have a little bit of an override to the lug profile. You can see how they ride up the flank of the bezel. That allows the lugs to have a nice full form without getting cropped off, and it also prevents an excessively thick watch, which would result if the bezel were sitting at the absolute tippy top of the lugs. The outer face of the bezel is vertical, and then the profile is conical, so it's a two-facet bezel. We have a JL logo on the crown. It is a push-down crown. The watch is 50 meters water resistant. We have a domed or cambered sapphire, and then a little bit of a trick. So if you were to look at the original Geophysic, you would see that the inside of the plexiglass crystal features little applications of radioactive lume, whereas here, the Photina-style applications of lume are on the satin-finished inner bezel rather than on the sapphire itself. So that's a little bit of a change from the 50s version, but this watch is designed to be a modern Geophysic, not a re-edition. Remember, there was the tribute to Geophysic if you wanted an exact re-edition. Now here we have a deadbeat second system, and you can see that the deadbeat second system, sometimes known as a doctor's complication, is the basis for that name True Second. It jumps like a quartz watch, but the deadbeat complication precedes the quartz era. So when people say it looks like a quartz watch, what they should really be saying is the quartz watch looks like a second mot. And this is that, a deadbeat second. There is a hacking or stop seconds function, so you can stop it all together and set it to a reference time. But there's also a nifty function if you are traveling where you can actually leave everything in operation, seconds hand, minute hand, and then you can move your local hour as you transit the time zones. Even going east-west across the international date line, the date will follow you. So this is great if you're changing time zones and you want to keep your watch adjusted to the second. We have here a number of individual, faceted, and somewhat muted individual indices. You can see they have a matted texture, so they don't reflect light as though they were bright polished. We also have a satin finished centers to these hands to make them easier to read against the frosted dial base. The dial base is granular frosted, almost like a media blast texture, and the same matte finish that you'll find on the indices is also found on the Jaeger-LeCoultre JL logo. Flip everything over and we have one of the few truly new JLC base movements of the modern era, and one that hasn't been used a lot. Maybe it was just too expensive to make. This is the caliber 770. The first thing you'll see is that it's a lot bigger than the 889s and 899s. Those were 26 millimeters. This is 30 millimeters, built for a full-size modern watch. This was also the first time JLC used its monoblock rose gold rotor, which is all precious metal. And a lot of people ask me, is this tungsten or rose gold plated? It's solid rose gold, and this was the first time it appeared on a JLC watch. You can also see hybrid ceramic bearings, where the ball bearings themselves are ceramic, but the race is steel, reduces friction, and it improves winding efficiency. And JLC modern winding systems are unidirectional, which is more efficient in practice than bidirectional. Also, look at that sunburst over the center of the bearing, really nicely done. We have stripes across the bridges and genuine fire-blued screws. It is a 40-hour power reserve, and it has two different heart rates. It has 1 hertz for the deadbeat, and then 4 hertz or 8 beats per second for the balance. I'm going to stop the balance so you can get a good look at it. Take a look at that. It's non-annular. That is, it's not a wheel. It's an aerodynamic yoke with a JL logo on each side. It's called the Gyro Lab Balance, and it's called that because it was derived from the design on the Extreme Lab 1, an ultra-rare concept watch made in only a few dozen copies. And this is one of the few tangible benefits to come out of that machine and find its way into a mainstream product. So it maximizes the percent of total mass in the rim, and it also reduces the effect of aerodynamics on timing, which shows an incredible dedication to chronometry. You can also see it's free sprung for shock resistance and precision of adjustment, and it has a dual anchored balance bridge for the same reason, shock resistance. In oscillation right there, you can see there's a little sort of star and flirt system for the deadbeat, and then a little accumulator spring at center for the complication. All of this pivoting on 36 joules. It's a good-looking movement that is chock-a-block with original ideas. If only we had seen more of it. I'm not aware of many JLC watches that use the 770. There was the 770 and then the 772 on the Geophysic Universal Time World Timer. But if you want the most interesting JLC automatic caliber to be found in a mainstream model, this is it. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916 Company for purchase and pricing details. Actually, one more detail. I thought I talked about the lume. I should probably show it to you. As you can see, the watch is properly luminescent and very visible in the dark.